Hi, I'm Benny the Jet. Some people, call me Thunder and Iron Horse. So it depends who's calling me. However, I've been in the art. I have 9 black belts in my family. My mother was a professional wrestler. My father, a professional boxer. How they got together, I don't know. But there's 4 champions in my family. So at the age of 3, when kids had fire trucks, I had boxing gloves. My mother was my hero because she not only was a professional wrestler, but she was very wise, very spiritual. And she used to constantly tell me, I'm gonna give you an example. In '74, when I first saw Bruce Lee, we were at the internationals, and I'm sitting down with my legs crossed, and my mother always used to tell me about internal power, but I never really understood her until Bruce Lee had this one guy. He was like 250 pounds, 6'3", and Bruce Lee, he's short. He's like 5'8", 5'7", but he had his fingers up on his chest, and he was calling it the 4-finger strike, but he was talking about internal power. And that's what got my attention, because my mother always used to say about internal power and breath medicine, this and this, and I never understood what she was telling me until he was explaining how he generates his energy from Mother Earth and brings it up, and then the sun explodes. Well, he went through this whole thing, and after he finished talking, he went through and made this and hit this guy just from four inches away. Hit this guy in the chest. He went back flying 4 feet, sat in a chair, went over. I jumped up off the ground. I said, I want to do that. And so he was a big influence on me. But my mother was an influence that was actually teaching me knowledge of experience. Bruce Lee, I told my brother, I said, can I spar with him? And my brother said, I don't have enough experience. I beat every tournament there was. And I said, now can I spar with him? He says, you don't have enough experience yet. So, and I thought to myself, do I have to kill somebody or what? So they had said full contact karate, and my brother and Howard Hansen said, you want to do full contact karate? And I said, full contact karate? I said, what's that? He said, and so he says, but this is karate to the knockout. And I said, I won't get disqualified? He said, it's to the knockout. But I kept on thinking, and I won't get disqualified. So we went to Hawaii in '73. My brother-in-law, my brother, my youngest brother, me, and we went to Hawaii. On Saturday, I fought 7 times. I knocked out the first guy on Saturday, and I was looking around thinking they're going to disqualify me. And they raised my hand up. I said, all right, I didn't get disqualified. So I stopped 7 others on Saturday, and then Sunday, there was supposed to be, I was supposed to fight at least 7 more times, but a lot of people didn't want to come back. They didn't want no more. So I ended up fighting, Bernice White was the Marian champion, and I stopped him in the 3rd round. And then my brother was going to fight Dana Goodson, which is 6'3", 245 pounds. This guy was the Hawaiian. So I told my brother, if you don't stop him, you're not going to win. I said, hurt him for me. But anyway, he fought. He went the distance. And so besides, they didn't want me to fight my brother-in-law. They wanted to see David and Goliath. And they wanted to see, because when I went in the ring, I was facing his chest. And I'm looking up at him like, okay. So he thought I was going to run from him. And when the bell rang, I chased him. I would jump like a leech sucking on his blood. He was trying to get me off. And I stopped him in the 4th round. So I ended up winning that, and that was the first championship. So when I came home, I told my brother, I earned the right to spar with him, and then he passed away. So he was no longer there, but you can see the influence that Bruce Lee gave me, because I wanted to test myself. it was not about fighting him. It was about testing my speed, with him. Kickboxing, first of all, when my brother first told me, do you want to do full contact karate? I have no idea what that meant. But I used to get disqualified a lot because all the people that had tournaments, they used to come up to me and tell my brother, tell your little brother to calm down. I really like competing, but I was just, a lot of the parents were complaining I was hitting their kids too hard. And I was already a good boxer anyway, so I think that my aggressiveness was I was just too excited and I spooked everybody out. So in 73, when Full Contact Karate came out, I held the title all the way up until 75 and going to 76. And so my brother said, you're the champion. I said, how can I be the champion? And you call me the champion of the world? I haven't been outside the United States with this. Why do you call me the champion of the world? And he says, you want to fight outside? I said, you want to call me a champion? Yeah. So he says, okay. So 2 months, 3 months later, he comes back. He said, you want to fight Muay Thai? I said, yeah, I'll fight him. I had no idea that was a system from Thailand. I just thought that was his name. And I said, yeah, I'll fight him. And so Ernest Hart fought the first guy. They brought 2 champions from Thailand. So, and Ernest Hart lost in the 3rd round. He was beating him, and then all of a sudden, he got stopped. So then it was my turn. I'm the main event. So I come out, and so he's actually doing a prayer, the Thai prayer. I've never seen that before. So I'm in the corner, and I'm looking at him, so I'm kind of moving to his music, and all the Thai people think I'm making fun of him. I had no idea. I've never seen that. So this Thai guy simulated shooting an arrow at me, and I smiled, thumbs up, and his eyes were red. The bell rang. He came after me. I've had Charlie horses before, but I never had anybody try to break my legs. This Thai guy hit me in the leg so hard. It's like, you ever see those dogs you squeeze and the eyes pop out? Mom, my eyes popped out. I said, whoa. I said, man, what was that all about? So every time he kicked me, I jumped over his legs. That's how high I was jumping because I didn't know what to do. So I told my brother, what do I do? He said, kick him back. I said, oh, yeah. I went back and I kicked him, and he leg checked me. Leg check means he brought up his leg on their shins, and I kept on telling my brother, he smells pretty bad. My eyes are burning, whatever they're doing. So in the corner, I'm seeing they're spraying his legs with something, but my eyes were burning. And I didn't know it was numbing spray. But I told my brother, I said, my eyes are burning, whatever they're spraying on him. So after that, the word kickboxing was born. And so I wrote the first kickboxing book in 78. And then I took that book around the world. And so that's in every country, the kickboxing book was the Bible of kickboxing. Just so you know that in 73, Full Contact Karate, that was UFC. No rules, no weight divisions. It was elimination. I've never fought anybody my size. They were always much bigger. And I'll put it this way: Dana Goods is 6'3", 245 pounds. Bernice White, 6'1", 180 pounds. So I've never fought anybody my size. So that was the UFC, because there was no rules. Period. No rules at all. And so if you can see my fight with him, I picked up Dana Goodson over my head, threw him on the ground, jumped up, stomped him, jumped on him, pinned him down, so forth, spit my mouthpiece out because I was getting tired. And I actually bit him in the chest because I was getting tired. I bit his chest, and he used his palm and pushed my face. He got up and he said, "You bit me." And I was getting tired, but I had my teeth mark on his chest. And so that was a UFC. There was not much martial art movies at the time. It was the Green Hornet, it was on TV and stuff like that. There was not really a lot of martial art movies. And the only reason why it started to is because Bruce Lee, Enter the Dragon and so forth, and so everybody started getting into it, and then more movies, martial art movies started coming around. But there was really nothing to follow in the martial arts. Force 5, when I started Force 5, is because, again, Enter the Dragon and so forth, Bob Klaus and so forth. I mean, the director, he loved action and so forth, and he got 5 of us that are, I mean, that whole movie was top martial artists, from, I mean, all different systems. It was something that they wanted to see what we can do. Actually, they wasn't so interested in the dialogue because they thought we were just fighters. We don't know how to act. But I said, when we do demonstrations, that's acting. If I can go in there and do a demonstration, my job is to capture the audience. I can get the audience to get up on their chair. I can get them to be real quiet. I can get them to hold their breath. I can get them to scream. I can get them to close their eyes. I know exactly how to move people and capture their energy. So I didn't know that was acting. I just thought that's just something I do. As a teacher, I understand internal training. 80% of it is mental, 20% of it is physical, 99.9% of the rest of that is internal, which is emotional. I am very good as a teacher. So the teaching, when it came down on the films, it was a breeze. To me, I couldn't believe they were paying me to do that.
Benny the Jet Urquidez, world full contact welterweight champion.
How I got involved with Meals on Wheels is Jackie actually was looking for somebody, and he knew of me. He saw me fight when I was in Hong Kong and so forth, and I fought a death match there. So he followed my career. So when I first met him, they called me in. His manager called me and said, "We'd like to see, we'd like to put you in this movie." I said, "Okay, so who's Jackie Chan?" And they said, "Well, Jackie Chan is here in Hong Kong. He is the #1 actor, And I said, "Okay." I said, "So what would you like?" He says, he wants to do a movie with you." So they gave me not a script. They kind of gave me a synopsis of what it was about, kind of gave me the storyline, this and that, and I said, "Okay." So when I first met Jackie looked at me and sized me up and down. I sized him up and down, and I met, and so automatically he had a team of about 24 stunt guys. So he did something with the team, and then he looked at me and goes, so I said, "Okay." So he wanted me to do something. So I did something. And so he got on his team, and then he did something with his team, and then he went like this. So I said, "Okay." So I did something. So then after that, he kept on back and forth, and to the point where he gave, one of his stunt guys gave him a pad to hold, and he wanted me to kick him. So I told his interpreter, "Do you want me to kick him hard?" He says, "Yes." He says, "Let me see." He wanted to see how hard I kicked. I kicked this guy so hard, and that he was bleeding in his nose and stuff, and I just kicked him that hard. And so Jackie looked at me, and he put thumbs up. So when it came to filming, Jackie would have his team, and he would put something together. He would actually put a choreograph with his team. So then he would look at me. So he says, "We're going to do this," and I said, "Okay." I said, "Then I'll do this." So I went out there and I choreographed mine. And then he huddled up with his team, came back, and he said, "We're going to do this." So I said, "Okay," and I'm going to do that. And then halfway through it, he said he wanted to fight me. And his interpreter told me he wants to fight you. And I said, "For real?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, "He knows I'm a professional fighter." And he said, "Yes, he wants to fight you." And I said, "Now?" And he said, No, later." And I said, "Okay." So he had everybody thinking we're going to fight. So after we went through Spain and 2 months of Spain, we go to Hong Kong. So I tell him, are we going to fight now? He said, yeah, soon. When we get in Hong Kong, I told Jackie, I said, you're not going to fight me. And he smiled, he started laughing, and he goes like, you're right. He wasn't going to fight me anyway, but he had everybody and the whole morale. I said, that was brilliant. That was brilliant. He had everybody pumped. Everybody was actually betting who was going to win between him and I. I'm a real fighter. I'm a real champion. So that's what he wanted, the realness. And we made the fight so real. You know, we made the fight so real that we were actually hitting, you know, contact and so forth. I mean, I have impeccable control. So he knew, even though he was supposed to go and win, I stopped it. He looked at me and goes, oh, you know, hey, that's why you have different takes, you know, sometimes. But him and I, we will only do 1 and 2 takes. We blend it so well together. Either you're a good guy or a bad guy. Everybody in between gets lost. And he said, you play such a bad guy that he said, that's such balance. That's yin and yang, you know. And it made sense to me. And I said, okay. In that case, I said, then if you want, I said, my eyes, a lot of people get hypnotized with my eyes. So that's why they put black in my eyes to really capture. And I said, you mean it's not bad? I mean, it's not enough, just my eyes, period, man. You want to make sure that these eyes pop out at you. And so, but that was the whole key in that. And I was okay with all of it. Everything is open to do anything I want when you're a bad guy. You're a bad guy. I can pick up anything. I can use anything. I can, you know, any props I want. It's about creativeness and how they're going to kill me. You know, because I said I must have died 1,000 deaths. But I said I don't like dying the same way. I said, if I'm going to die, I want to die in a different way. Let's get creative with that. So I died with pins. I died with, you know, you name it. But anyway, I thought that it was interesting how people perceive me, you know, as a person. And I've always thought, you know, I said, are you kidding me? I'm Gentle Ben, you know. But to them, they said, you were a scary character. I just didn't. I said, but I'm nothing like that. I'm nothing like how people perceive me. People think they know me. I tell people, you know me? He said, every fight, every this. It's like my brother told me. He says, brother, I know you like the back of my hand. I said, really? Do you know me? He says, are you kidding me? I can tell you every girlfriend, every fight, every dance. I said, oh, so you think I'm my resume? I said, brother, I'm not my resume. That's what I've done, but that's not who I am. And so people always, when they follow me, they always think they know me. And I said, no, you only know what I've done, but you don't know me. Jackie has really good people with him, been with him for a long time, knows what Jackie likes, how he likes this, and they get together and then they present it, because they're already on the script. So they present it to him and this and that, and then Jackie goes and then Jackie does the finishing touch to it. So, and that's how they do things. I watch them, they get together, they gather, they kind of huddle and, okay, this is what we're going to do, but this is what I want, this and that. So put it together, come up with something, and they do. They come up with some clever things. I watch them, I watch them huddle while they're looking and talking to each other and practicing different things. And then they turn around and say, okay, your turn. You know, the hardest part of fighting for a film is always in the beginning when you're working with an actor. The main thing is to gain, you know, you have to gain their confidence, first of all, and you have to really earn their trust. Once you earn their trust and bypass all that, I'm this, I'm that, I can do it, this and this, and after you bypass all that, once you get through all that, then it's smooth. From that point on, it's like a party. It's smooth. You find the rhythm, and you find mentally where they're at. And once you bypass that, then you put the strong points on. You bring their strong points on in front of a camera. Everything that we've done was on film. Everything. And I wish they would have took some of the stuff out of it, but they loved it. We just played a game of Raleigh back and forth. It was such a lot of fun that we just had a blast. Sleeping on the same chairs back, side to side, and eating and it was, him, he practically sat on my lap, just us how close we were, talking. He wanted to learn the English and so forth, and we just had a blast with one another. We just became such good friends. I really believe that myself, I brought something different that nobody's ever seen in the beginning in films. And Jackie, had Hong Kong style and Chinese ways of doing, it's almost like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7. Like it was a dance movement, and that's how they shot things. And I came in here and I said, there's no more. I took all the ands out. There's no more 1 and. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. Instead of going 1 and 2 and 3. So I took the dance frame off because, again, to me, that's not real. It's not real. So when Jackie starts seeing me taking out all the ands and there's no 1 and 2, he just see me go pa 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 pa, and next thing you know he says, well, what is that? It's rhythm. It's like playing ping pong back and forth. It's a rhythm. I said, I'm dancing to your rhythm. I'm moving with your rhythm. I'm not moving to a beat. I'm moving with a rhythm. I'm moving to your energy. You move fast, I move fast. You move slow, I move slow. But I'm moving, it's just flowing, of energy back and forth. And we're just flowing with it. And that's how I work. So as far as that type of fighting back then, we brought something new to the film industry and to this day. So right now, I can still do what I was doing back then. Nothing's changed. My body doesn't count numbers. It doesn't know how old I am. All it knows is what I feel. As far as I'm concerned, I'm still 25, 30 years old, My mind feels that because there's nothing I cannot do that I was doing then that I cannot do right now. I'm thankful that what we started, people realize you got to move with time. You got to don't be stuck in one place. Move forward. Time moves forward. Move with it. And so we created something to where others got to get, you got to keep creating yourself. And so that's what they're doing. A lot of the fighting, everybody's being creative, and what they're doing is no longer, a dance move. It's a rhythm. It's a rhythm back and forth. So it's, that's way gone. The form of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That's way gone. No longer exists anymore in the film industry. So, it's like everything else. Things change. A lot can happen in one day.